our fostering work by creating awareness about some forgotten people in our society, the orphans, those who have parents anymore to cater for them, and have homes to live in.
Around children that you foster, and so that, sometimes they say, oh, this child may turn out to be somebody who is going to harm my family. You don't know whether that child was given birth to by a crazy person. You don't know, but I really don't think that those things are tenable. Even when we have our own, but you give, the child comes through you, you never know what the child is bringing from heaven. We always pray for we pray for very healthy children. We pray for children who don't have any who don't have any issues, health issues. But at the end of the day, every child comes with whatever it is that God, that's embedded in them. And love does do a lot to turn around whatever it is. So for me, that's so I guess what I'm trying to say is that those who want children and who do not want to have those children through IVF or are having other challenges, they're children there for you to foster. Now, in the Islamic tradition, fostering is the norm for the Islamic tradition. Now, one of the things that I think is also very important to point out is that you do not foster a child out of pity. You foster a child out of love. There's a big difference. You foster a child out of love. You want the best for that child. You want to give the best, for that to that child as you are capable, as the best that you are capable of, emotionally, financially, physically. You give the child your best. I think that there are some areas where I know that government tries to be extra careful about letting children go into homes. They want to be sure that they're not going into homes where they're going to be abused, where they're going to be, used for some kind of other, where the child is not going to be used in any way other than being a child of the family. So government tends to be, bend over backwards to make sure of that. But I think, when the red tape can be a bit much, especially for families who are aching to have these things done. So let's try and see how we can shorten the red tape. Find ways where human beings, we have incredible intellect. So it's a matter of thinking. Let's think about it and find ways of just getting parents and children together, I will always say a big thank you to a lady called Emea Kenzua. Emea Kenzua, she also has, she runs a home in Lagos, and she was the one who came to me and said, look, Auntie, big sis, I know you were adopted, and I would like you to, just help us let people know that adoption is something that is good, is something that, and it doesn't limit what the child can do and what the parents, how the parents are viewed in society. My mother was a medical doctor, one of the earliest medical doctors in Nigeria, and my father was a legal practitioner. He worked with the UAC, and he was the Babajiro of Lagos. First of all, Otulisa of Lagos, and then Babajiro of Lagos. I am number 2 in a family of 5. We just lost my immediate younger sister earlier this year. And it's and why I say I thank her is that one never spoke about it. It was something that you didn't talk about, and in a way, what I find that has happened ever since, she got me to talk to a group of people about it, is that more people are beginning to see. We bless God. We bless God for my parents, for the way they brought me up, and what one has, by God's wonderful grace, one has become in the society, so that it's almost like you're one is a symbol of the possibilities that adopting, that fostering can do. I have an incredibly amazing support, amazing family. Of course, you have family members that are annoying, that can be nasty, but nasty people are nasty people. So that's, if you were not adopted, they will find something else. So it has nothing to do with that. I have an incredible nuclear family. Yes, my brother, my sisters, my husband, my kids, and my grandchild now.
From the example of Halal homes. So my talk was, and in just summary, was just really talking about the importance of raising this or promoting this within our families, because we have a lot of children today who unfortunately have been orphaned, and it's not due to any circumstance of theirs. It is the choice, or it is the card that life has dealt to them, or fate has dealt to them, and it is for us to provide as much compassion and love to them. And I gave an example, yes, with even the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, may the peace and blessings of the Almighty be upon him, who was orphaned from young. And I also gave an example of the founder of Apple, Steve Jobs, who was actually a Syrian but adopted by a family in America and then given the name Steve Jobs, and he grew to be a genius, literally, who has now produced a multi-trillion-dollar company that till today the wealth generated by this company is something that is tremendous for the whole world to experience. So it's really for us as families, as people in this nation, to look at promoting, fostering and foster care within our homes, and doing it properly, not taking children in and turning them into maids, but taking them in, giving them love, shelter, education, ensuring that they have the best of clothes. Whatever you give your own children, you give to them as well. This is really what fostering is about. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, when we say fostering, it's really a family saying that, oh, a man has taken the children from their village because they are poor and they turn them into maids. And that's not fostering. What you do is you build resentment in the heart of the child. You don't build them to be confident and have that feeling that they can be something in life. So this is, in a nutshell, in summary, what I basically talked about at my speech, or during my speech, and I pray that this resonates with every Nigerian and every human being. You don't have to be a Muslim for this message to touch you. Every single one of us have something to do and say regarding this, and we all need to have good people around us so we can all be good as well, God willing.
Today is actually World Adoption Day. So we want to raise awareness about fostering, because a lot of the talk is about adoption. And we want Nigerians to know that you can actually foster a child. Fostering a child is more in line with the Islamic law, because the difference between adoption and fostering is, in adoption you lose the identity of your birth parents and you take the identity of the adoptive parents, while Islam wants you to retain your identity. So you can still take a child into your home and the child retains his identity and you do everything that's required for the child. So we want to let Nigerians know that these children are in need of homes. Although our home, Halal Children's Home, takes care of these children, the best place for a child is within a family. So we are encouraging people to come and start the fostering process and take these children into your home. We're actually registered with the Social Development Services. So we do not give the children out for fostering. The fostering is done by the government. So on our own end, we provide care for the children, and when there's a parent that wants to foster a child, we just provide the platform to know the child, and then we facilitate the process with the government.